Death and Dying James, posted May 2007.
Billy, I think it's much easier to accept one's own material death than thinking about the passing of a loved one. In some cultures, another's death should be approached like a celebration of the life, and in others it's very obviously a dark and depressing occasion. People may sometimes be confused of what is an appropriate reaction. For instance, they may feel guilty for not showing a lot of crying and grief. Is there a useful basic ritual to mourn the passing of a person close to you? Or what do the Plejarians and other spiritually advanced ETs do to make dealing with the death less painful and exaggerated?
Answer: people should learn about and prepare for death their entire life, starting when they are a child. They have to learn to cope with grief even before they are confronted with the loss of a beloved one or one's own dying. Rituals are not the correct way.
Note by CF: an immense amount of knowledge and wisdom about death, grief, dying, rebirth, etc. can be read in Billy's book Wiedergeburt, Leben, Sterben, Tod und Trauer, which gives the real facts about this issue and is the reference book about this issue on this world. A must-reading for all people.
Balkan_Spirit, posted December 2009.
Hi, dear Billy. It is my first time to send a question to you. I've read some of your info about life and death, and that people should not be afraid to die, since it's a normal, natural, creational law that every living being dies physical body. A spirit form goes to other side and comes back into a new body through reincarnation. Now, do you or Plejarians know true nature of death? Is it a painful feeling at a moment of death? Do people see a long, bright tunnel? Does our own spirit or creation itself decides when a person is supposed to die? Or something else? Sorry if my question seems too complex. Thank you very much. I wish you a long and healthy life, and all best to you and other Figu members. Salomia!
Answer: basically, the so-called death agony is a peaceful, harmonious state, a transition process from life to death. People who are watching a person die during the death, last agony bystanders often misunderstand the heavy breathing and twitching, etc. as fear, but it is just a ceasing of the body's functions. Of course, there are people who fear death, or who have led a life full of hatred and greed, etc., and if death nears, they cling to life and suffer horribly psyche, etc. This can be led back to the fact that their conscience, which they have suppressed so long, surfaces at last and starts to rebel. It goes without saying that dying through an execution is no peaceful occurrence, and dying instantly through an accident prevents a peaceful transition process. The time of death is determined by creational equal sign natural laws, that is to say, by the functioning or rather malfunctioning and wasting away of our physical body, through the aging process, or by a disease, etc.
Stevio, posted May 2010.
Billy, I'm 21, have no car, no money, no education, no job, never. Had a job or a car, never kept up with money, dropped out of. School at the age of 16 and people around me just call me a bum, and my friends just stopped talking to me now. Since I did nothing for my life and I'm 21. At the same time, I feel like I don't care about my life. I don't care about life at all. I feel nothing most of the time. I feel lifeless. I feel in love at a young age 15, and since then, I stopped caring about my life knowing that I'm heading toward a dead end. I was born a premature child and a good child also. I never bother with anyone, yet people just pick on me, then I feel like doing something bad to get them back, but my thinking mind tell me to just leave them alone and don't talk to them. Just worry about yourself. I did nothing wrong all the time. I feel like dying, like the life have been sucked out of me, like I'm not me no more, until one day I was on the internet and out of nowhere my mind tell me to look up aliens and UFOs, days, them weeks, then months, until I found out about it. Then I learned more and more about the Sprital teachings and the contact notes. The contact notes I liked a lot. I like Psych, developed Psych, creating universe and man development as I listened to all of this. It made so much sense to me. Sense to me that I learned about you and the contact notes and Sprital teachings. I already knew it in my thinking, and when I try to explain to other people, they don't care. 'Cause where I'm from, people try to deceive, lie, cheat, kill, all kinds of silly things. Sorry for all the reading. My question is, let's say if I did die, I know it said that the I and you won't exist any longer and the other side is like a sleep state. What would be my experience as I'm dying? Would it be like going to sleep, or would it be like me not existing anymore forever? What passes over to the other side, you feelings and emotions, and conscious or dos? That part of a no longer exist is their awareness on the other side. Well, I be aware of myself. Or is it just simply would be the same experience that you had on the other side, timelessness?
Answer: when you are dead, you are dead. Your personality has ceased to exist. There are no thoughts and feelings after death.
Stevio, posted May 2010.
Billy, when a person died, do they die or the body dies? Are we body with a sprit, or sprit with a body, or both? 'Cause where I'm from, family friends tell me I only live once. Is this true? When I die, well, I experience the same thing I did when you was in the timelessness. Will I be aware of myself in the timelessness other side? Can it give us the most comprehensible understanding about life and death? Thank you.
Stevio, perhaps you weren't aware of this, but please only one question post each time this section opens up. So thanks Scott moderator message edited by Scott on May 04, 2010.
Stevio, posted June 2010.
Thank you for answering my last question about the other side. My question is, if I got this right, I only live once and then cease to exit forever. No wonder why everyone's scared to die, 'cause they only live once. Am I right about this?
Answer: it's the personality equals sign the material consciousness that lives only once, and the actual consciousness block. But the spirit form and the overall consciousness block continue to exist. There is absolutely no reason why people must be scared to die. If they would accept the reality of incarnation and reincarnation, they would know that everything is just a natural process. Actually, it's a good thing that one doesn't remember one's past life and personalities, because this enables human beings to lead a sound and healthy life. If we everyone would remember our past lives, there would be chaos everywhere, and all people would be crazy and confused, and they would not be fit for life, etc., etc.
Note by CF. Nobody who is alive today is suffering from any fear that was experienced during one's former life of only living once, as you may easily confirm when looking at yourself. Perhaps the only ones who feel sorry for the lack of knowledge about one's former existences are the regression delusionists with their foolish and always unreal and ever futile attempts of stirring up equal sign inventing, memories of former existences. But those delusional people are making up their delusional memories based on their own delusion and wishful thinking, etc.
Stevio, posted July 2010.
Thank you for answering my last question. So when I die, I will not exist any longer if I got this right. I only live once and that's it. So then, I am the mind and the spirit is life. And when the mind die, and I will not exist any longer, but the spirit is creation. My question is, I am the mortal mind and I die well, not exist any longer. And the spirit lives forever. That used my mind then when I die, it just uses another mind, so I'm only living once.
Answer: the I doesn't exist any longer, but the essence of your life, all that you have learned, knowledge, wisdom, etc., continues to exist and can be used by the new personality, the new I of the next incarnation. Yes, you as the person Stevio only live once.
Tony_Q, posted April 2012.
Dear Billy, my mother is battling cancer at the moment, and it will eventually take her in the not-too-distant future. She is aware of your writings through me, but has not gotten too much into it. She has a spiritual but not religious nature herself. What would your advice be on helping people in the final stages of their lives to comprehend and prepare for the reality of what will actually occur?
Answer: just be there and show them that they are not alone during their last stage of life. And absolutely avoid influencing a dying person's opinion unless the dying person is asking for advice if this occurs. Just answer the question, but don't give a lecture. The way a person has lived and thought, the way he or she dies. Nobody has the right to correct another person's whether young, old, or dying views.
Note by CF. That's why it is important that human beings think about and ponder death and dying while they are young and healthy, etc. The sooner you start thinking about death and researching the real facts about it,
the better. Furban posted November 2012.
Hello, Billy. Please accept my warmest greetings, as they also extend to C-49 and all involved in the mission. The subject of death requires a lot of understanding, and to be honest, to the point that Earth people have probably greatest difficulty to talk about it. It involves mixture of feelings which can greatly deviate from neutral positive in one moment and be completely different in another. In addition, lack of knowledge and logical thinking regarding the time of rest and transition into new personality evokes sadness. Disappointment, and in extreme cases may lead to panic, fear, uncertainty, etc. The task of teaching people of Earth about death is also complicated. One, because none of us can yet perceive his or her previous incarnations and thus be reaffirmed of unconditional validity of the process of reincarnation. For this reason, anxiety will still have to be present in anyone who perceives reality with even slightest of doubt. Understanding of the process of getting old, dying, and rebirth in the sense of seasonal changes in nature can be related to very easily. However, when faced with actual death of a very close someone, the personification of nature may not be as easily agreed upon within each individual. The best way each person may deal with this is most likely dependent on their own way of thinking and reasoning, and can't be formulated into working for all advice. Moreover, justifying explanation regarding the necessity of rest, which I assume could be used instead of the word death or being dead, may be in the form of black holes which take only to transform and give again, or, most importantly, in the natural creation cycles of evolution and progress. I further assume that no change and respectfully no transition on the evolutionary ladder has ever happened for the worst or in the regressive manner, but to the contrary, each rest is subsequently followed by more evolved creation with all new strength and purpose to create and evolve even further. I do like this saying, hope for the best and prepare for the worst, and in this light I would like, with great pleasure, to ask you what are the main objectives of everyone involved in the mission during your transition into rest and following time, whenever it may occur. I am mostly worried about people's need for authority and in their reluctance in self-pursuit of logic, truth, and reality. It is obvious that questions generate more questions, and at some point the scholars will be forced to come up with the answers and agree upon them by themselves. Thus, to conclude and restate aforementioned, shall this inevitable time of your rest come, how do you wish us to continue your work in the most respectful, efficient, and agreeable way? Salome.
Answer: that all interested people are continuing normally with the mission. BTW, rest does not mean the same as death or being dead.
Note by CF. Euphemism has no value at all when people want to or have to face reality. It's up to each person to decide whether to confront himself or herself with the reality, facts of death, with grief and dying, etc., or to remain bound within religious thinking, uncertainty, fear, or a burying one's head in the sand attitude.
Votan, posted February 2013.
Billy, can we live longer by influencing our life cycle? Also, is our death predetermined when we are born? Can we change this by meditation?
Answer: our lifespan is continuously influenced and determined by the way we think and act, and by environmental factors, etc. Meditation is a method by influencing one's life, and through this effect, influencing one's lifespan. In other words, no, our death date is not predetermined when we are born.